What exactly does a psychology PhD application assess? 90% of people haven't figured it out. You may not realize that the world of psychology PhD application is completely different from what you think. It does not look at who is the most hardworking, who is the busiest, or who has the most decorated background. What truly determines whether you can get into a PhD program is a very stable, very fundamental psychological logic. As a UCL psychology PhD who has guided 350 plus psychology PhD applicants over the years, I've found all students who successfully received offers from Oxford, Cambridge, and the G5 stepped on the same underlying psychological system. Today, I'm going to tear apart, break down, and clearly explain the real logic behind psychology PhD applications. It runs on 4 psychological mechanisms: motivation, reflection, networking, exploration. This isn't a technique, it's a mechanism. Once you understand the mechanism, the application naturally becomes smoother. Number 1, motivation. The starting point of everything. One of the most basic ideas in psychology. Sustained behavior relies on internal drive, not external pressure. Many people think they want to pursue a PhD, but when asked, what is your intrinsic motivation? They can't answer. Motivation is not, I am interested, childhood trauma, or childhood experiences. It is a stable preference, strengthened through real experiences over time. It comes from 3 forces: emotional arousal, which is your consistent attention to a topic; self-identity, you feel that this is who I am; long-term endurance, you continue even when things get difficult. This is why I always say a psychology PhD motivation is not born, it is gradually shaped by experience. Your motivation is simply the thing you've consistently stayed with. Number 2, reflection. Are you suited for this path? People with stronger self-reflection make more stable, long-term career choices. Reflection is not thinking about it once. It is repeatedly asking, which direction do I actually like? Neuropsychology? Social psychology? Can I accept the pace of this field? Running fMRI brain experiment every day, analyzing endless data sets. Am I willing to spend years on one research question, even when you still don't understand why the human brain feels sadness? Does this direction match my personality, strengths, and interests? You cannot answer these questions without real experience. The material for reflection comes from research, internships, coursework, projects, and reading. For example, when I first worked on a neuropsychology research project, the excitement of I can understand the mechanisms behind human behavior made me realize this is what I want long term. On the other hand, some projects made me realize within 2 months, this is not what I want. These negative signals are just as valuable. You cannot imagine your direction. You can only find it through the cycle of experience, reflection, and adjustment. 3, networking. Integrating into the academic world you want to join. The power to admit PhD students sits with the supervisor. And what do supervisors value the most? Not GPA, not your CV, but whether your way of thinking aligns with their research. This is the psychological logic behind upward networking. Can you engage in deep discussions with the supervisor? Can you understand their research line? Can you show that collaborating with you for years is realistic and promising? Psychology PhD applications are considered a social matching process. Once matched, you become a student the supervisor is willing to invest in. Before I entered UCL, it was through countless discussions, reading groups, and small projects that my supervisor increasingly saw Victor's thinking style is suited for neuropsychology research. Real networking is not just meeting people, it is letting the supervisor see through the way that you talk and think that you are a student worth working with. Number 4, exploration. Building your psychological material bank. The biggest fear in psychology PhD applications is unclear direction. Unclear direction comes from too little experience, too little thinking. Exploration means continuously exposing yourself to the real world. Research, internships, courses, volunteering, attending talks, joining reading groups. The purpose is not to collect experiences, but to constantly ask, why did I choose psychology? What did I gain from it? Does it make me more suited for this field? I'm more certain that it's not for me. When your experiences accumulate into your own psychological material bank, the logic chain of your PhD application becomes self-sustaining. And the final summary, a psychology PhD application is not just a pile of tips. It is a growth cycle driven by psychological mechanisms. Motivation leads to reflection, leads to networking, leads to exploration. Continuously push and reinforce each other. When these four mechanisms run smoothly, the psychology PhD application transforms from anxious and uncertain into directional, structured, and full of visible progress. If you feel lost right now and don't know whether you're suited for a psychology PhD, then leave a PhD in the comments and we can check together whether your psychology PhD application logic is on the right track.